What's up, sports maniacs? I'm Justin Walters, and this is All Sorts of Sports. Welcome to All Sorts of Sports, and the first story that we're going to cover today has to do with the Ball family. Now, I'm just going to assume that most of you know who Liangelo Ball, Lavar Ball, and Liangelo Ball are. But are you aware of the Ball family ugly stepsister? Liangelo Ball is the middle child that we rarely hear from until now. So last week, the UCLA men's basketball team was in China to kick off the start of the regular season. And while they were there, 3 players from the team actually got arrested for shoplifting at a Louis Vuitton store. Among the 3 that were arrested was Liangelo Ball. Now see, this is why I think we should start paying college athletes for playing college sports. How's my boy Liangelo Ball supposed to get his $700 Louis Vuitton sunglasses if he ain't getting paid? Now you probably thought, like I did when I first heard this story, that shoplifting, not like the biggest deal in the world. But the only problem is that the Chinese laws for shoplifting are a lot like the American laws for shoplifting, which are that if you steal over $1,000, it becomes more than just a petty little theft crime. And according to the Handbook of Chinese Criminology, minor crimes such as petty theft and prostitution are often handled through so-called administrative punishment. An administrative punishment is one imposed after the police department find that a person is guilty. And just a quick side note here, in China, for a crime like this, there's a 99.9% conviction rate. A basic administrative punishment is some combination of up to 15 days in jail, fines, and warnings. And one thing that I actually find pretty funny about this whole situation is that Lavar Ball has actually been recently talking about how he wants to expand his brand, which is Big Baller brand. He wants to expand that brand into China. And then this incident came along and LaMelo is kind of spoiling those plans. Anyways, it is likely that those 3 players that were caught shoplifting are going to have to stay in China for another week or 2, while the rest of the team has already returned to the United States. I actually have some footage of Lavar Ball when he found the cop who actually arrested Liangelo for shoplifting. Check it out.
Oh, no. Wait, is Ambrose the voice of reason? I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, that Lavar Ball, he's quite the guy. Let me know in the comments below your guys' thought on the Liangelo conflict. And so it would appear that there is only one hope to save Liangelo Ball. Before we get to our next story today, I just want to go over a couple videos that I think you guys are gonna want to check out. And first, for our must-watch video of the week, we have Stephon Marbury and Jimmer Fredette, who are both playing professionally now in China. In a professional game over in China, they actually got into a fight on the court. It was a must-watch. The link for that video is gonna be down in the description below, so make sure you check that out. And our fail of the week goes to Avery Bradley of the Detroit Pistons. Now, Avery Bradley he got a steal, he went down the court, nobody around him, right? And then he goes up for a nice, easy, wide open dunk, stuffed by the rim, gets the ball back, goes up a second time, and actually ends up getting blocked by an opposing player. It was pretty embarrassing. Link for that is down in the description as well. The secret link of the week is also in the description, so be sure to go down in the description, check out all those videos. I think you guys are gonna really like all of those. And finally, our meme of the day is here. Yep, we have a little SpongeBob play on with the Liangelo Ball getting arrested. Pretty funny. And sticking with the college basketball theme, the season has finally begun. It's one of my favorite times. The rankings have been made, and it looks like we're in for a pretty exciting NCAA college men's basketball season. So here are the top 3 teams. These are from the original preseason rankings. These are the top 3 teams and what I think it will take in order for those top teams to actually win a championship. So at number 3, we have the Arizona Wildcats, who beat UMBC 71-60 in their season debut. Now obviously, as a top 3 team, Arizona does have the potential to win it all this year. But I think that's only possible if DeAndre Hayden is the player that we all expect him to be. This guy is a 7-footer who loves to shoot from the perimeter, and he could ultimately end up being one of the best players in college basketball in the country. I think he's gonna be a very good fill-in for Markkanen, who got drafted and is now playing for the Chicago Bulls. That was a big hit for them to lose him, but I think that he's going to come in and he's going to fill that role very nicely. The number 2 spot belongs to the Michigan State Spartans, who in their season debut, I cannot say that word, in their season debut, nailed it. Defeated North Florida 98-66. Now, obviously the biggest story for the Spartans is that Miles Bridges returned for his sophomore season after everybody speculated that he was going to be going to the NBA. However, I actually believe that the big key for the Spartans, if they want to win the national championship, is going to come from sophomore point guard Cassius Winston. We need to see Winston take big strides in his game, both in a player role and as in a leadership role. Now, I definitely think that Winston has the ability to do that. Based on watching Game 1, he really showed a lot of improvements to his game and improvements in his leadership. But he is going to be a big key to the Spartans team if they want to go all the way this year. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have the Duke Blue Devils, who won their first 2 games this year already. And what Duke needs in order to get to the championship and win it this year is the 2015-2016 Grayson Allen. I think we all know that Allen was very distracted last year. It kind of showed on the court. Now, he's distracted by a lot of social media stuff. But if he can get back to focusing on leading this team and put aside all the social media distractions and whatnot, I really do believe that he could lead them to a national championship. And now, time for my predictions for the upcoming NCAA basketball season. My choice for this year's championship team is going to be the Michigan State Spartans. Now, I'm picking Michigan State for 2 reasons. 1, I'm biased. And number 2, I think that there's so much talent and so much size on this team that they are going to be a matchup nightmare for any team in the country. Now, interestingly enough, Duke and Michigan State actually play on Tuesday night, so be sure to tune into that. That's going to be a great game. I'm very excited. Not every year do we get to see the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed battle it out this early in the season. This could very well be foreshadowing the national championship game. Obviously, that's just what I think. I'm picking Michigan State. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Who do you think is going to be the NCAA champion? Let me know in the comments below. And that's going to do it for today's episode of All Sorts of Sports. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, show some love by hitting that like button. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with the sporting news. Also, if you don't like waiting a week to get these videos, make sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm constantly putting stuff out on those. Don't forget to leave your comments below on these Don't forget to leave your comments below on these stories that we discussed today. The community episode will be posted later on in the week. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Today's episode of All Sorts of Sports is dedicated to the memory of Roy Halladay. You will be greatly missed.
I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.